Essen Spiel is right around the corner, and these are my most anticipated games.
Welcome to BoxedMeeples, I'm Julian and this is Libby, and that's right, we shall soon be at Essen Spiel in Germany looking at the big halls and going, there's so many games here, how can we possibly whittle it down to just 10 each?
Oh, so many. I think I had 50 on my list at one point. Don't worry, I won't run you through all of them.
Now, hopefully elsewhere on the channel you've seen I have picked my 10 and most anticipated games, so this is just covering the 10 you've picked.
Yes, and I've used a bit of the Spiel app, I've used a lot of TableTop Together, a little bit of BGGing, a bit of YouTube to check that I definitely like the look of them. So it's been a bit of a mishmash of research, but certainly I've had a lot of fun on the TableTop Together. Sort of like, want, need.
It's pretty easy for you. It's just a case of want, need.
Yeah, there's no ignore.
Now, if you've already seen my video, don't worry, there's going to be no overlaps in this video. And likewise, if you haven't seen my video, make sure you do check that out. But let's dive right in. The first game that you're really looking forward to. The Hobbit there and back at.If from Asmodee. We had a sneaky first look at it at the UK Games Expo, but hopefully at Spiel, maybe we get to play it.
Yes, this was sort of after the convention had finished. We managed to squeeze in a meeting because we'd all been very busy, and they just gave us a little sneak peek at it, and it looked fantastic. The artwork looked great. We love the Hobbit theme and Lord of the Rings and all of that stuff. And this seems like every page you turn, you go on a different type of adventure, and you're using that whole roll and write in another way every time you try something new and turn a new page. You can, of course, kind of go through the book in order, or you can just pick a single adventure and see how you go.
Yeah, because each of the pages are self-contained. So it's not like you carry bits over from previous pages. So if you find a favourite one, you've got just stick to that. Yeah. But essentially there's so many different roll and writes available in one big package.
Yeah, so really excited to have a better look at that, have more of a chance to sort of flick through where it is now from that sort of early game that we saw, and maybe take a copy home with us.
A wild venture from PIKA Games looks adorable, but this might have a bit of substance to it.
It does look adorable, and I think you'd be forgiven for thinking that this could be like a family game from the cover and the look of it. So PIKA games are that sort of slightly lighter games than those that come out of Fantasia, who've brought us Endless Winter and a lot of other games that we've loved, like Unconscious Mind. So they are some beefy, crunchy games, and PIKA is like the lighter younger sister. Yes. But that's not to say that this is appearing to be, you know, super family, you know, younger, even though the artwork is that sort of cozy and appealing. I think it's still going to have some really crunchy decisions to it in terms of what cards you're using and when, and sort of working out when you use what and what order in order to get everything syncing and working for you. So I'm really interested to have a better look at that and maybe see a little bit of how a round works or something like that at the show, and see if it looks like a game for us, because it does look super cute.
Very cute. Now, I suspect I know why you picked Aquaria. Is it because the designer is Thomas Hollick?
Yeah, I mean, he had a killer of a year last year with the games that he released.
Yeah, he was the king of Essen last year.
So he had Tea Garden, he had Galileo Galilei, he had SETI, all amazing games. We have all of them in a collection and enjoyed all of them. In fact, 2 of them have expansions. All three have expansions actually coming. And I'm hoping to pick all of those up, I think. So just in terms of how he designs games and how crunchy and stuff they sort of feel, I feel like we can't just not look into this one, really. I prefer my fish to be in the sea than in a tank, if I'm honest. It's the sort of diver and sailor in me isn't as keen on them being contained like in Nemo at the dentist.
Right.
But it does look like it's got some really interesting decision spaces in terms of what you're putting in your tank and how, and there's loads of fun little dials and stuff going on. There's lots of things to dive into and get an idea on how that decision space works. I think there's going to be quite a lot of options of things to do and paths to go in, and a lot of choices to be making by the looks of what I've seen here. So it could be a nice one.
Well, you can't go far wrong with a Thomas Hollick.
No, I am intrigued as to what the art is going to be like.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different covers out there. Have they gone very retro? Have another one looks a little bit different. So I'm not sure what the finished piece is going to look like. I'm intrigued by that. The retro theming is more you than me, I'd say, aesthetically. So it'll be interesting to see how the gaming components are totally, and the cover of the box as well.
We'll know in a few weeks' time.
We will.
Well, talking about covers changing, Covenant from Devir has gone from to ooh.
Yes. I mean, when I first heard about this game, I was working for the people who distribute the Devir games in the UK. And the cover was, in my opinion, a little questionable. Just it didn't really appeal. It just looked a bit strange. And I think that it is much more appealing now.
Yes.
Thematically, it doesn't appear that it's changed. I mean, I am very interested. The designer's the same designer who did Botoku, which we really enjoy.
One of our favourites.
Love that game. And let's go back to number one. This, in terms of the story, it sounds a little bit like The Hobbit.
It's essentially The Hobbit, yeah.
It sounds a bit like The Hobbit. Don't tell anyone.
I was noticed. It's fine.
You're dwarves and you want to retake your mountain. So you need to go in there and you need to fight off some baddies that are residing in your mountain, that you should, it's your heritage home. You've been kicked out of there for, I don't know, millennia, whatever. And you want to go back in there. You got to get some troops together, get in there, start building, make your home again. Sounds
familiar.
Yeah. But I am intrigued. I know that there's going to be some good options, some good decisions in this one, given other designs that have come from both Devir and the designer. So I'm very excited and intrigued to see how that game plays.
Yeah, and not about nuns because it's called Covenant and not Convent.
Well, to start with, I thought it was like Ark of the Covenant, Indiana Jones, but it's not that either.
Emberheart has you written all over it. It looks like How to Train Your Dragon, and it's coming from Mindclash, which is a publisher you absolutely adore.
Yeah, I don't think there's a game that's come out of Mindclash that I haven't loved. We have quite a lot of them in the collection. I intend on keeping that going, getting more and more. I think Emberheart is going to be lighter than we are used to. It's not going to be as crunchy as your Tricarians and your Anachrones and all of that kind of stuff. But it's got cute dragons. Very cute dragons. And you're going to be basically sort of activating different spots on the board. Maybe that is getting some dragons and looking after them. There's an interesting thing that happens where you can bid a certain number when you go to a different space. You have a number of tokens to use, and so if you've used the 4 spot on one of them, you're going to have to take 4 of those things that you might only have 10 of and put it there. But that means that if the space there has between 1 and 5 power spots available, you're going to be one of the first ones to go and choose that thing when you get to that section of the game where you're activating the different spots. So obviously if you just go there with 1, you're left with the dregs. If you go there with 4, you've got a better choice. but you've got that limited resource. You can upgrade that resource and make them do fun and exciting different things, make them specialize in certain areas, but that will mean that they can't go to any space. So you're going to need to be sort of driving that engine of having the right number of workers to go to the different places and the right skills that you want so they can do things well. And also not spending everything too quickly and be left with nothing. Right. And making sure you get those dragons.
What about the dragons?
Yeah. So I don't know too much about it, but that much I have sort of had a look at. Looks gorgeous and can't wait to see more. Hopefully we can get a game in once we're there.
The top of many people's most anticipated list is Feya's Swamp.
Yes, this one is by the designer of Terra Mystica, of Gaia Project. Like, these are all games that are sort of classics that we know about for a long time. I mean, we've played both of these absolute years ago, and people are still playing them a lot in our club and things like that. They've got some real substance, some staying power. So I think everyone's going to be interested to see how Feya's Swamp compares to those. It does seem like there is an element of similarity. You're going to be trying to put tiles out on a hex board. You're in a swamp. There's lots of little islands around. The islands are sort of giving an amount of power per se. The more stuff that gets surrounded around those spaces, the more expensive it is to come join the party. But of course, the more points you're going to be getting for being there. So there's that toss up in terms of how are you running your money and keeping that going. You can go fishing to get
in a swamp as well,
and then you can give other people your fish for money, but then they've got fish which gives them an extra power, an extra resource. You're giving away stuff in order to get stuff. So when do you do that to not give another player too much of an advantage and get what you need when you need it? So it looks like there's quite a fun little puzzle. I read a book a little while ago which was about it started off with a woman who lived in quite a sort of swampy area and was used to going out on her boat and doing it. She was very sort of wild and sort of self-contained child who just lived with nature, and it's giving me that sort of vibe. So in my head, it's like the book, but she'll maybe meet a few competitors along the way.
Right, it really does look lovely, and very much how much I disliked Gaia Project's art. This looks incredible.
Yeah, and I think we're still going to have all of that tracks and engine to be going up and doing stuff with.
I recall you were quite excited about Recall.
Do you recall?
I do recall that
I was excited about Recall. Recall is by the same designer as a game called Revive, which is in my top 50. Absolutely loved Revive. In fact, Call of the Abyss expansion I went to pick up last year, year before,
I think.
I think it was the year before. Somehow missed it, and it's never really come to our gaming shops that we have locally here, so have never had a chance to pick that up. So it's kind of on my radar to pick up that even. And then this is by the same designer. It looks like there's quite a lot of different things going on, but I think that kind of designer DNA is kind of embedded in there, and I think I like how that game works. So, and the thinking of what you're doing with the cards and things. There's definitely still some slots here that look like you're going to be putting things in. And
in terms of table presence, you can tell they're related because of all the slotty and switchy bits.
Yeah, and sort of there will certainly be kind of getting a bit of an engine going with the things that you choose to slot into different spaces and how that lets you do different things through the round. So yeah, very intrigued by this one because I love Revive, basically. Don't know huge amount about it, but have seen a few pictures and things. So it does definitely look intriguing. I think it's going to be a nice, crunchy game, which Revive is, I think, as well. It's not a quick short.
No, it's an event game. But what I like about what I've heard so far about Fractal is that in Revive, there's a tendency to spend a lot of time building up to do one epic turn, only to have someone swoop in and steal all the glory from that.
Yeah, I did enjoy
that beautiful space. You spend a lot of time making beautiful. That doesn't seem to be the case.
No,
here.
I think it will be a little.
I found it quite frustrating in Revive, so maybe this one will become more appealing for me.
I mean, I found it great because I was the winner of that, but I think it does look like it's going to do completely different things. I'm not looking to add the same game again to the collection, but
no, I think they're different enough to warrant. Owning both.
Yeah, so super excited to have a closer look at that.
Next up is a game called Red North, but you know it as something very different.
I do. I know this game as Feya. So I arrived at Essen before you last year.
Yeah.
Went over to one of the hotels before the show was going to open or anything, met up with one of our designer friends, and found him at a table playing a game with one of his friends. And they very kindly let me come and join them, taught me the game, and we played Feya a couple of times. Very interesting card play. You have to be quite thoughtful about what you play at what point in terms of what power you're going to end up with. Really enjoyed it, and it seemed to be a sort of a bit of a buzz, a bit of a talk of the town, talk of Essen, and it was just a father and son, small kind of designer.
You took me over there on the Sunday, so it was towards the end of the show. We were very tired from all the Essen fun, and it was such an unassuming stand. They were there showing us a very small box, and there's no big statues or big flags or anything. Just this father and son showing off the game they created. A friend of theirs had done the art, and I knew you were intrigued by it. We left it too late to buy a copy.
Yes,
and so we kind of went home going, "Oh, that's a shame, we missed out on that."
Yeah, and it was sort of one of my highlights, playing games with my friends in evenings. I felt like I'd missed out on that. And what's really lovely about things like Essen is that some of these small games, tiny indie designers like a father and son, ends up being seen by some of the publishers there and then sort of taken under, throw a little bit of budget at it, give it some new art, a new skin, and it's coming out now as Red North. So one that I thought that I kind of missed and regretted not getting, I now hopefully have the opportunity to get again. I think you certainly prefer the artwork.
The new look is pretty cool. Yeah, and Viking theme is always going to be up your street.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, so really excited to see if there's any other changes and how some of the cards look, and maybe have another chance to play it.
Another theme that is always going to draw you in are Japanese games, and with a name like Ronin, you don't get much more Japanese than this.
You don't, no. And it's funny because the story, as you're reading the kind of stuff about the game, reminded me a little bit of when you're kind of reading about Vindication, where you've kind of been shamed and outcast, and you're wandering, in this case, Japan, and the map is Japan. It looks like the shape of Japan. It looks really fun, and you're going around kind of doing different things, trying to sort of regain your honor and sort of maybe be reaccepted into society. It looks fun. I mean, we love Japanese games, so the moment I saw the word, I was like, oh, this one.
Adding that to the list.
Yeah, but it does seem like there's a lot going on in the different areas and the different things that you can go to in order to sort of build that reputation back up again and not be so outcast and shamed. I'm excited to have a closer look at that and see if it's going to be a game for us, and see how big our Japanese collection of games can get.
It's more than one Kallax cube by now.
Oh yeah, there's like 3, 4 maybe. Yeah. Whoops.
Well, it's going to stretch beyond 4 Kallax cubes because you want to get White Castle Duel as well now.
Yeah, I do. And we play White Castle at 2 players.
It seems fine at 2 players.
All the time. Plays really well. Really like the Geisha expansion.
Yep.
with the tea ceremony and everything. Really great. I mean, it's such a good crunchy game for a weeknight. It plays quite quick and short, so many decisions, so few actions.
Yeah, you've got to make every action count in that game. You have a dud turn, that's it.
Have no idea what they're going to do to make it more two-playery. I mean, apart from the fact that when you play 2 players in the standard game, like, you can't kind of stack the dice and go on top and go to the same area and stuff like that. So there are some tweaks and changes when playing it at 2 to the higher player counts. But I'm all in on anything White Castle.
We love White Castle. So, you know, even something that just uses those mechanisms in a slightly different way is always going to be appealing to you, whether it plays at 2 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I even like the sort of slightly darker board colour. So, yeah, I don't know much about what happens in terms of that play mechanism, but I know enough about White Castle and Shay and Ezra as designers to know that I'm not leaving Essen without one.
Last year we had the headache of flying to Essen. And we had the limit of what we were allowed to take on the plane in terms of weight.
Yeah, and it turns out when you guess that, you kind of get a bit worried and you under-egg it.
We really
could have
undershot.
taken more games home with us, but we were too worried. This year I'm taking the car, so...
So that's why your shopping list is plentiful. I hope there's going to be space in the car for me to join you on the way home, because it's a long walk from Essen.
The roof, right?
So let's go through your shopping things you're going to buy
at
Essen this year.
Quite a few are expansions, which I obviously didn't include in the main list because expansion.
So Castle Combo out of the...
A good luck saying whatever the
Obliti.
Yeah.
Obliti.
Yeah, I'm not sure
more French.
how to pronounce it.
An expansion for Castle Combo.
Yeah, exactly. Great game. We love it. Love Strange World Above the Clouds a little bit more, but won't stop us playing Castle Combo, so why not have extra things for that?
Diver Go.
Well, I think this is from Itten.
It is.
And we love some of the Itten games. We're going to Itten anyway. If you've seen Julian's already, you'll know there's something at Itten that we're looking to get. We always get one of the Fun Brick series.
We do.
And this seems fun. And the box is brick... No, it's not brick shaped. But I love diving. So
You'd like to dive a go?
I'd like to dive a go. I want to know what happens in Dive a Go. It's a fun little Itten game. You can't always get them very much.
Grab them while you can.
Yes.
It should be called Go Go Dive a Go. Forest Shuffle Dartmoor.
Yes, I've played Forest Shuffle quite a few times on BGA. I think we've played it once or twice in person. Not very much.
No.
You were...
It didn't grab me.
Less keen than I was. I really liked some of those combos. But everything that I've heard is that Dartmoor is superior. And it's a standalone kind of version of it. And so I feel like if I'm going to persuade you, I'll persuade you with the big sheep.
That helps.
Yeah.
Galileo Galilei, I really like, but I just think, if there's a bit more, I'd maybe like it more.
Exactly, there's an expansion. Yes. We'll get that. It's a great game.
You know what I also like? I quite like Tea Garden.
Yeah.
But if there's a bit more, probably like a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Tea Ceremony. Excellent. No, there's another expansion for that one too. So, and they're great games. So, yeah.
And while we're on the Thomas Hollick trilogy, of course, there's a SETI expansion.
There is, yeah. So, we're hoping to see CGE and see if we can find out more about that as well. Yeah.
Tenby, the popular Welsh village.
Well, Tenby was so popular at UK Games Expo, and it's about a little village in Wales, not hugely far from some of our friends. Everyone's raving about the gameplay, and this is another game that's been sort of taken up by a publisher from sort of an indie independent, sort of the designer, and now they've taken it under their wing to get it out to the world a little bit more. So I think it might have sold out at UKGA actually, but now looks like we're going to have a chance to get it again.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And finally, Viking Raiders, Loki's Mischief. Viking Raiders, such an underrated gem.
Yes. So another small Viking card game that we've loved. I mean, we've had it for a couple of years now.
We've done lots of videos on the channel. Have a look at those because, it's more people need to know about it. Yeah. It's really great.
And we've taken it on holiday quite a few times, things like that. So it's a great sort of little compact box. So finding out more about Loki being mischievous in that game seems great. So yeah, I mean, that is just a few of the games that I am looking out for.
This is your whittled down list.
Yes.
And of course, like I said in our video, it's just fun surprises. I mean, we've been around Essen, as you might have seen in our vlogs last year. You just stumble across things that have that massive kind of fire sale discounts. And you're like, how on earth is that €5?
Yeah,
I'll take that home.
We got Ganymede last year for a crazy price. And that's been a really nice sort of midweek game for us to play together. And we always like to get something from those sort of Japanime in those Asian Korea board games. Like, you don't always see them at some of the other conventions, but they do make the effort to come over to Germany. So it's great to be able to get those sort of quirky, different individual games that are difficult to get at other times of the year.
But you going to Essen, what games are you looking forward to? And most importantly, who's made the best list here? Who do you agree with more? Who would you like to follow around Essen and go, good choice? Let us know in the comments down below. And of course,
what have we missed?
Tell us what we haven't picked on there. What have we overlooked? And we should definitely make a beeline for in our few days we have in between work. There won't be as many daily vlogs this year, unfortunately, because we do have larger work commitments, but we certainly will be doing lots of content on Essen in the run up to it, and also afterwards as we go through the incredible amount of games that we've squashed into our car.
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you are subscribed. It really does help us out if you aren't already. Of course, along with Essen content, we make lots of other content about board games every single week, so I'd love to have you join us.
And if you're watching this going, I'd like to get some board games, maybe these ones we're talking about will be available in the future, a good place to go is your friendly local game store. And for us in the southeast of England, that is of course Chaos Cards. And never forget, in the description there is always a discount code you can use to save some money at the checkout.
You can indeed. So now we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.